Taiwan. I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A civil defense school is teaching people how to fight Chinese disinformation ahead of Taiwan's presidential election. Yu Jinghua has this report.
Combating Chinese disinformation ahead of a crucial election. There are just weeks left until Taiwan chooses its next president. And China, which claims Taiwan and threatens to invade, is trying to affect the outcome, using tactics like disinformation. Civil defense group Kuma Academy held this public workshop to inform voters of what they should look out for. The organization has held hundreds of lessons like this one over the past year, ranging from educating people on countering China's cognitive warfare against Taiwan to providing basic knowledge on what to do if a war breaks out. The academy normally charges for its classes, but held this outdoor event in the central city of Taichung for free to spread awareness of Chinese efforts to the public.
General citizens, they need not only media literacy, they need some sort of ability to do, let's say, open source intelligence. They could trace, who are the cyber army. They could check maybe what's the source code, for certain websites. To understand the real strategy from China would be something that we need to learn.
Kuma Academy founder Puma Shen says China only needs to change the minds of 3% of voters based on the 40 million who voted in the 2020 election. That's about 400,000 people. Beijing's trying to get them to vote for a more China-friendly candidate.
With less than a month until Taiwan's presidential election, many voters are concerned about Chinese interference. This crowd is full of people of all ages, braving the cold weekend weather.
要防止假消息散布，因为大家现在都很相信那种片面的那种很耸动的标题，就觉得这个认知作战真的非常非常的重要。
以前是匪谍在你旁边，现在不是匪谍在你旁边，是那个网络在你旁边。
我大概从2018，应该是2018那次选举之后，才意识到其实台湾已经被影响蛮严重，所以从那之后，每一次选举都非常担心。
Some attendees at the event say they've already felt the effects of Chinese manipulation, both online and off.
现在太多影片都是中国做的影片啊，很多人都会丢啊。
像地方的公庙啦，有一些组织都是他们参加那个志工活动或者什么的，就是带头的那几个，他会利用一些资源，比如说请他们去。
Many people here say they don't want to be ruled by China and are apprehensive about a more Beijing-friendly candidate taking office. This shows that China will play a pivotal role in the election outcome. But the Academy hopes its training means people vote based on candidate policy, not on disinformation. Client Wang and Yu Jinghua in Taichung for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's ruling DPP swept to victory the past two elections with overwhelming support from young voters. But after 8 years in power, the party faces a struggle to keep them on board. Stash Butler has the story.
25-year-old Wang Yimin has little time for politics. With Taiwan's elections less than a month away, the law student is busy with his thesis defense and has decided to vote the same way he did in the last elections for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP. Despite his disillusionment with how they've governed.
The reason that I'm still going to vote for DPP is because I don't think there's much of a difference. Currently, there are just no other parties that will be voted into office who would also who would support some of the issues I also support.
Young voters like Wang helped deliver the DPP to power in the last two elections, on a platform of standing up to China, which claims Taiwan as its own. But after 8 years under DPP rule, many now say they want an alternative focused on domestic issues like housing and low wages.
And they're just really fed up with the geopolitics. They want a party that focuses on their needs at home, right? So when we talk about their needs at home, it's largely about economic issues, which is something that the DPP is not exactly highlighting right now.
So, to freshen its appeal to young voters, the DPP is backing more progressive legislative candidates from outside the party, like Miao Boya, a 36-year-old former activist and founding member of the Social Democratic Party. This district in Taipei that Miao hopes to represent has never been held by the Democratic Progressive Party. If Miao can win here, the party is in with a strong chance of keeping control of the legislature. Miao believes she can win over local voters.
我想我们应该要选一个光明磊落的苗博雅，然后不要选择总是躲在暗处叫嚣、抹黑造谣。
But without a broader platform shift by the DPP as a whole, progressive individuals like Miao risk being swept up by anti-government sentiment, which leaves the DPP with a very real prospect next month of losing Taiwan's legislature, a result that could rock the region's balance of power. But for young voters like Wang, though wary of threats from beyond Taiwan's borders, the wait still goes on for changes within. Andy Xue and Stash Butler in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has introduced tougher penalties for firing a gun in public. Offenders will now get at least 7 years in prison alongside a fine of almost $500,000 US. The new laws make exceptions for Taiwanese indigenous peoples who use firearms for hunting. The changes follow a series of high-profile shooting incidents in the country this year, including one in which a teenager emptied a clip into a pawn shop. New data show a spike in depression rates among students in Taiwan since the start of COVID-19 pandemic. A survey of over 1,600 post-secondary students found depression in the group has risen by 9%, citing time management, academic pressure, and worries about the future as the biggest sources of stress. It comes as Taiwan's government tries to improve young people's mental health with subsidized counseling sessions. A famous landmark has collapsed in the ocean in northern Taiwan. Our reporter Reese Ayers went to the coast to check out other at-risk rock formations.
Standing proud on Taiwan's northeastern coast, the regal Queen's Head Rock, named for its resemblance to the UK's late Queen Elizabeth II. Located inside Yelio Geopark, she's a popular tourist attraction. All eyes are now on her shrinking neck, however, after part of the neighbouring Elephant Trunk Rock collapsed into the sea over the weekend. The result of the collapse was discovered by an on-duty security guard.
我仔细一看，它的头跟鼻子都不见了。
4 years ago, geologists predicted that the natural stone arch would stand for at least another millennium, though Mother Nature clearly had other ideas.
可能就是因为海浪的拍打，那个时候风非常的大。
Despite the missing trunk, tourists have still come to catch a glimpse of what's left of the arch.
觉得就看不到这个自然的风景了，可是这就是自然的现象，所以还是接受它。
But staff on site have been instructed to keep tourists away from the crumbling structure.
象鼻岩因为崩塌的关系，所以说现在游客暂时禁止进入，怕有危险的关系。
Further south, at the Queen's Head Rock, tourists gather to take what could be their final photos of this striking stone.
还蛮惊讶的，但是是预估内的事情，所以这时间到还是都会断，所以想说来记录一下。
Experts are worried the Queen's Head could be the next famous formation to collapse. As of now, her neck measures 118 centimetres around, a full metre thinner than it was 50 years ago. Geologists say the Queen could lose her head within 5 years. Typhoons and earthquakes strike Taiwan's northeast multiple times per year. It's impossible to know exactly when, but this Queen's Head will roll. Scott Huang and Reese Ayers for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, take a look at these children in Venezuela kicking off the Christmas season with a local tradition of racing wooden carts. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.